to Joshua and Thursday with while the camera.
Y'all, thank y'all for joining us for another episode of Truth Talk.
Call it Josh Trailer House.
I've been drinking whiskey tonight. Lost my job, can't pay the light. In the morning I'll be alright. 'Cause I've been drinking whiskey all night. I said,
All right, thank y'all for tuning in to another episode of Truth, Tall Tales, and Whiskey. Tonight we got Pecos Hurley from Pecos the Rooftops, which I really don't know how he finally agreed to this. I've been bugging him about it for about a year, so here we go.
The stars align, man. Here
Absolutely. It kind of worked out. I texted you at the right time,
we are.
finally.
Yeah. We out here.
All right, so immediately when you started music, you just popped out with this damn song out of nowhere, and now that is a platinum, almost double platinum song?
Yeah.
So how did all that come about? How'd y'all start playing music, all kinds of shit? Because I pulled up a video on YouTube you forgot about.
Yeah, that was a long time ago too. I mean, that was before I moved to Lubbock even, and that was kind of right around the time I got into songwriting. Really, started writing songs, and I was working this job in Paris, where I'm from, Paris, Texas, and I was working at Fastenal. And the girl that I was with, I had bought a ring and whatnot, and we ended up splitting up. And I was like, fuck this, I'm quitting this job. I quit work for like a month. And my buddy Will McKenzie that I grew up with, we wrote Leave Me Lonely together. For like a month straight, we sat on my mom's back porch and drank beer and wrote songs. And that's kind of when I got into songwriting, and I was like, fuck it, I'm going to move to Lubbock. And moved out there and was kind of trying to get my foot in the music scene there. And Brandon Jones, who I've known since we were like 12 years old, he was living in Lubbock, and he had two random roommates. And we always hung out at their apartment and would drink and whatever, party there and play guitars and shit. And they all knew that I was kind of like trying to get into the music stuff there in Lubbock. And me and Kaylin, who was Brandon's random roommate, one night I was, we were sitting around, I was playing some guitar, and I started playing these chords, and he was like, hey, we keep playing that? And he sang the chorus to this damn song. And I was like, is that all you got of it? And he was like, yeah, I mean, I was just kind of fucking with it. And I was like, do you care if I finish it? And he was like, no, that's cool. Like, that's fine. And I was like, all right, send me the chorus that you got. And so I went home to my apartment and sat in my bedroom for like an hour after I got home and stayed up, and I was all messed up.
Till 4 a.m.?
Doing my thing, yeah.
Writing this damn song?
Yeah, exactly. And I wrote the verses and like the last chorus to it, and it kind of floated around for a while, and that's eventually how I met Kanan over there, which we met. How did we meet?
Via TikTok.
Yeah. Okay.
TikTok.
He was
So speaking of Kanan, we have Mr. Kanan Bryce in the house.
So I think I don't know if you knew me or not, but I don't know if I found him before he found me or vice versa. But I saw it on TikTok, and I was like, holy shit, that's a golden
It might have been
song.
Twitter even.
It was
'cause
Twitter.
I don't think I even had TikTok then.
There was a girl that we were mutual friends with, and she was like, I know Pecos. And I was like, well, tell him if he's not going to put the damn song out, I'm going to put it out.
Yeah.
And then, dude, I finally like hit you up, and you're like, man, I'm still in the military. I don't know what I'm doing. And yeah, go for it.
Yeah, I was like, fuck it, I don't care, man. And it floated around for like a year, I think, because we wrote that song in like 2018, like the end of, or it might have been the end of 2017. And it floated around, and I did the Blue Light Songwriter competition twice, and I played that song in it both times and didn't get past the first round. And I was like, well, fuck me, I guess I don't know what they want, And like ran into Kanan, and then I ended up cutting it, and I think it's the first week it was out, it got like 10,000 streams on Spotify, and I was like, oh shit, I guess we're a band now. And by that time, me and all the guys were in a 5-bedroom house in Lubbock, and we had a little jam room set up with a drum set and whatnot. And I was like, shit, I guess we're a band now. And when I put it out, we didn't even have a band name or cover art or anything for it. And so we took some pictures in our backyard on this shitty couch that I bought off of Facebook for like $40. And I still have the couch at my house right now. It's like a good luck charm, I guess. But yeah, it just fucking kind of did its thing, and we had no choice but to hit the road and start playing shows. But I was working at Chili's at the time in Lubbock, right across the street from the stadium. And I was at work one night, and I was bartending, and Colby Cooper's manager at the time tried to message me on Instagram and was like, hey, Colby's manager, we're trying to see if you want to do some shows. And I'm at work, so I'm like busy as shit, and I pull my phone out and look and check the message, and I'm like, this guy's full of shit, and ignored it. And about 45 minutes later, Colby had messaged me on Instagram and was like, hey, my manager's trying to get a hold of you, like, will you call him back, or will you call me or something? And he gave me his phone number, and I was like, you gotta be fucking kidding me right now.
You're just like,
why am I here? Why am I not at home like booking shows and stuff right now?
Absolutely.
You know? And so we went on like a 2-week run with Colby and did some shows, and one of the first shows was at the Blue Light in Lubbock. And we got on stage and played the song, and they sang every word back. That's when I was like, what is happening, you know? And
first song you ever put out, and then the first show you play with them like that, everybody singing it back to you. There's gotta be no feeling like that.
I mean, technically the first show that I played it at was like full band show was in El Paso at this place called Ricky D's. It's probably like a 1,500, 2,000 cap room. And I had booked the show myself because they were one of the only venues that I had called that would hit me back up. And we got the show there. And that was the first time I used Airbnb. We got an Airbnb, and we showed up the first night. We were playing the next night. It was like a 7-hour drive from Lubbock. You would think West Texas is West Texas, but it's still
forever away.
El Paso is so far, dude.
So far.
And so we get there and check into the Airbnb. There's fucking McDonald's trash everywhere, and it's just like not clean. And so we're like, whatever. I didn't know what to expect because it was the first time I ever used Airbnb. And we get there, and all the guys are like chilling on the couch playing the Xbox and shit. And like an hour into us staying there, we hear a knock on the door, and it just opens. And I was like, the fuck? And so I get up off the couch and go to the front door to see who's at the front door. And it's this guy and his family. He's got like 2 or 3 kids with him and his wife. And he's like, oh my God, I'm so sorry. I thought you were going to be here tomorrow. And I was like, no, I mean, it says right here on my phone that we're checking in today. And he's like, I'm so sorry. And he starts cleaning up all this stuff. And he unplugs the Xbox. He's like, I'm sorry, this is my son's. And the son like walks up to him and was like, Dad, where are we going to stay tonight?
Oh my God.
And like my heart dropped. I was like,
you said not here.
Honestly, yeah, that's I mean, there for a second I felt bad, and I was like, man, dude.
I got $27.
Yeah, I didn't have nowhere else to stay too, and I didn't have enough money to go buy us hotel rooms.
You didn't know them people?
Yeah, we already lost money getting the Airbnb, and so I don't know where they stayed. I hope they made it out all right, but
well, at least you
they didn't stay there.
You weren't like in the shower or something.
And so the next day we played at Ricky D's. That was our first like full band show. We were pumped, and 17 people showed up in this huge room. And so we're playing this show, and everyone's sitting at the bar that's like 50 yards away, not even looking at us.
Y'all just playing. Y'all just playing the fucking thing.
Yeah, it was pretty much a band practice.
Watching fucking hockey behind the bar.
Yeah.
So I want to speak on something. I think like everybody where they make that original music, like the area they make that in just means a lot. and I think that kind of plays into your name. Where you first created that when you were working at Chili's and Lubbock and everything else play into the name Pecos and the Rooftops? Because I believe where y'all were kind of jamming out had a lot to do with it.
House parties.
Yeah, so we had that 5-bedroom in Lubbock that we all lived at, and I mean, it was fun. It was a very fun place to live, and there was always something going on. But we did specifically like to get on our roof and drink and play guitar, write songs. Wrote a couple on the roof. We wrote Yesteryear on the roof.
Banger.
But yeah, I mean, that's ultimately how we come up with a name. We were sitting there when I was getting ready to put this damn song out. I was like, we need a band name. And we had already taken our pictures in our backyard on the couch and shit and put our guitars on the shed and whatnot. And I was like, we need a band name. And so we were kicking names around, and somebody said Pecos and the Rooftops. And I was like, hey, that makes sense. And it doesn't, ring bad. It's got an okay sound to it. So I typed that in and uploaded it to CD Baby. And
CD Baby.
that's how we got our name, pretty much.
That's the way to do it. Don't overthink it,
Yeah.
Can't change it then, man.
Yeah, exactly. It's stuck now.
The way that happened, I mean, you went from working at Chili's, getting the call from the manager, or text from the manager, and then Colby and all that, to playing big-ass shows and knowing Kanan the whole time and then taking him on the road. There's one thing we need to talk about.
Well, back in the day, man, I think it was before this damn song came out. We had our first headline in Lubbock at Blue Light, and I texted Pecos and was like, hey, dude, you want to come open up? And I think school was out at the time. So I texted Pecos to come open up for us, and I'm pretty sure he brought, I think there was like 17 people there all night, and he brought like 10 of them. Or 15 of them. I was like, dude, thank you for coming and opening it up for us.
I never realized that.
Brought the crowd to the show.
It was like his set of friends over here, and if it wasn't for Pecos, we wouldn't have made like $60 that night. So
I never realized that.
I got 7 damn friends to my goddamn name.
I think that kind of solidified the relationship between me and Pecos.
That happened, and next thing you know, y'all are on the road together over in Mississippi.
Fast forward, man, he gave me a few calls, and he's dude, Pecos blew up so fast. I really didn't know, like, I was like, damn it. Like, I knew the song was great, but it's exceeding every expectation I ever thought it was going to be, especially being almost double platinum now.
Dude, you hear that about a lot of things too. People like, it takes that one thing.
Yeah.
One thing that just resonates with everybody, and that was that thing.
But
it does.
And
but
you've kept that shit going.
The patience behind it, though, because he's not one of them guys that just put out this song and it just immediately like took off to its height.
No, he dropped banger after banger after
like,
that.
That song grew like. It just grew in a way that I don't think I've ever seen a song grow. Like,
well, it was all word of mouth too.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, we put $0 behind the song and promoting it and advertising it and shit like that. It was just like we put the song out and we all texted our friends and we're like, "Hey, we just put this song out. You should listen to it and like let us know what you think." And then next thing we know, it's fucking going crazy. And then that takes time to really build when you do it that way, but.
And honestly, I think Pecos is a little too humble to say something like this. But I've seen a lot of people and their work ethic in the scene, but Pecos is the only one that I've seen to absolutely fucking hustle his ass off. Like when I kind of get mad at him sometimes, but I can't be mad at him. So I'm like, hey, dude, you want to go golf? He's like, nah, dude, flying to Nashville, go songwriting for the whole week, and then we're back on the road, and then next week I got some more songwriting, and then we're going to do this. And I'm like, dude, I love you for fucking hustling, but god damn it, man, I want to play golf.
yeah.
But yeah, dude, Pecos hustles on the road and off the road, and I respect you 110%.
Thank you, brother.
Absolutely. But
yeah.
Going back to taking Kanan on the road with you.
Yeah. Going back to taking Kanan on the road
I
with
know
you.
where this is going.
Oxford, Mississippi. That's where it was, right?
Yeah. So man, we had a 3-day run with Pecos, and it was Oxford, Mississippi, Alabama, Georgia, and I'm gonna let you take it to get your.
No,
side
I
of
mean I
things.
wasn't even there, dude.
When you got served.
I was there for that.
Allegedly.
Tell your side of it, and he's gonna say what happened a few weeks ago.
Yeah.
Okay, so basically what happened, we had a Thursday, Friday, Saturday run, and Thursday in Oxford, Mississippi, we played the Lyric.
How long ago was this?
2 years ago.
Yeah, about a year and a half, 2 years.
Yeah.
And we ended up. It was a great night. Crowd was wild, and then we go to the bars afterwards. I am uncomfortably drunk, sitting by this dumpster with my band, and this group of people walk by, and this guy's looking at me, and I'm like, oh, dude, he's mad about something. And little do I know, I guess he just didn't like my face. And he looked at me and was like, what the fuck you looking at, bitch? And I was like, matter of fact, you. And and long story short, man, we kind of like got into like this yelling match of me trying to beat him up and him running away. And then these two dudes walk up to me, and they're like, hey, man, what's going on? I'm like, man, this dude's talking shit. I'm trying to beat him up. He ran around the corner. And they were like, all right, well, we got it. So they run around the corner, and I guess they beat this guy up and then come back and was like, hey, it's handled. And I was like, okay, thank you. I guess y'all didn't like that guy either. I don't know.
This is how I met Kanan.
You're like, do I tip you or
Yeah.
you got Venmo or?
I got your beer, man.
He's bought me a beer every time he's since.
And then we play Alabama, and then the next day is Georgia. And I think one of my band members that came in and was like, hey, dude, there's a guy outside yelling at his girlfriend. You need to come out there, da-da-da-da-da. I was like, dude, I was already in some shit in Mississippi. I'm not trying to get in trouble in Georgia, too. And I think everybody left me and went outside, and I just felt lonely sitting at the bar by myself, so I just wandered outside into the situation. And Pecos and Jade had already taken the girl away from him, and I walked outside, and there was like a big awkward silence, and I was like, oh, shit, what's going on? And I was like, all right, well, there's Pecos down there. I'm going to walk to him. So I start walking to him, and this guy walks out all pissed off and shit. And I'm like, ooh, maybe that's the problem right there. And then Sneed, Ryan Sneed was over there, and the guy was like, why is everybody looking at me? And Ryan was like, you're kind of being an asshole. And he like almost.
Which Ryan is like the nicest person. ever.
And he like kind of not really charges Sneed, but kind of gets buck with him. And I'm like, oh, dude, don't do that. And I finally like kind of get in between them. I'm like, hey, man, you're not going to talk to my friends. If you're going to yell at your girlfriend, you're still the asshole in this situation. And I ended up slapping the guy, like just open hand slapping him. And then he like turned around and tried to fight the cops. And then fast forward a year later, Pecos goes back to the Lyric in Oxford, Mississippi.
Go ahead, say how that went.
So we go back. This was like a year ago now, but we go back to the Lyric in Mississippi, and we sound check. We're like hanging out by the bus and shit after sound check, and this cop comes up to me and was like, hey, man, I'm a big fan. I hate to do this, but I have to give you these papers. And I was like, what the fuck? And I like grabbed the papers and I looked, and it's like a court, I mean, it's legitimate papers. And I was like, what is this for? And he was like, I don't know. Apparently something happened last time y'all were here. Someone got assaulted and he's pressing charges.
Your band beat somebody up.
So I read it and I'm like, I don't think I even went out last time we were here. Like,
He didn't.
like
He's in the green room though.
like I got off stage and went on the bus and like went to sleep eventually. I don't think I did anything. I damn sure like would remember if I punched somebody or something like that. And so we're sitting there talking, and like the guy gave papers to the entire band, and
Everybody's
like you could
confused as
tell
shit.
that the guy that got his ass beat went on Google and Googled the band members, because one of the papers was for our old drummer, Cade, and we had Garrett for like well over a year. I mean, Garrett was with us when that happened. And so it was like for all of us and Cade, and I'm like, this motherfucker just went on Google and like looked up band member names. Now we're all getting papers. So
all because of Kanan.
yeah, I was like, I called Kane and was like, dude, did you get in a fight last time we were in Oxford?
Dude, I was on the golf course.
Yeah.
He called me. I was like, "What's up, dude?" He was like, "Hey, we just got served papers. Did you beat somebody up last time?" I was like, "No, dude, that was 2 days later." 2 days later, I slapped somebody, and the cops were there to see it. But
Yeah, because I remembered that. I remembered all that happening, but I was like,
This is a completely different
I
town.
feel like, yeah.
That is amazing that you could get served papers when a guy couldn't even look at a band lineup and go, that guy.
Yeah, I was in the fucking bed when you got your ass whooped. What do you want me to do about it? I'm sorry that you were stupid drunk and mouthed off to the wrong person, I guess. Whatever, dude. Not my problem.
Hey,
and
so-
it wasn't even us. We didn't even do it.
Yeah, he's like, I was at their show, so I'm suing them.
But I will say this: the Saturday night in Georgia, I think Pecos heard the commotion going on of what happened between me and that guy, and to watch Pecos run down the street was it was like a knight in shining armor. Just watching him run, like yeah,
I could imagine this big motherfucker running
like-
towards somebody. I'm
like-
gonna stop fighting.
like I'm
he's played
big.
some linebacker in his life.
I'm big. I'm 6'3", 300 pounds. How big are you?
Like 6'5", like 285.
Hold on,
Because
he said that like it was Monday Night Football. 6'5", 285, lives in Silver Spring.
Mississippi State.
But I remember hearing that Kanan slapped that dude, and I was like, that's what he fucking gets, man. I should have slapped his ass, too.
I'm just
Dude,
curious.
We should have both slapped him at the same time.
What happens when you slap somebody? Because
Dude, okay,
that
I'll-
doesn't knock him out.
He's
So,
sobered up.
Play by play, dude. I'll tell you, man. Once he like you said, Ryan is like the nicest guy ever. Like he would give you his shirt off his back, and so whenever
Half
he
of it.
or half of it. So he I walked over there and kind of got in between them. I was like, hey, dude, you're not gonna talk to him like that. Da 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 da. And I told him, I was like, dude, if you're gonna get all buck like this, man, just go home. And I was being really nice and really chill at first, and then all of a sudden he was like, like trying to act like a hard ass. So I kind of like checked him. I was like, hey, back the fuck up. And then he got like really nice, and it was like back and forth. Like I'd be really nice to him, and then he'd take advantage of the niceness, and then I'd have to get buck with him. And I guess his like uncle came outside and got in between us, and he was being nice to me until his uncle came out and got in between us. And I'm like, man, I've had about 3 minutes of this, too much. And I reached across his uncle and I slapped him. I said, I slapped you, bitch. What are you gonna do about it? And he was like, oh. And then the cops came over there and was like, hey, guys, what's going on? And he immediately, like, it was like the cops took his life away. He turned around and started just fighting the cops, and the cops had to arrest him. And they came up to me and was like, didn't you just play? And I was like, yeah. And they were like, you slap him? I was like, yeah. And he was like, are you good? I was like, yeah, I'm fine. He has a problem. And he was like, we're going to take him to jail. And I was like, okay.
Sick. You should have done that 5 minutes ago.
I shouldn't have to slap him.
I feel like
It's always Ryan, too. Like-
the nicest guy.
We were at the Coleman Rodeo in like 2021, and we are trying to load out, and there's like fucking like 40 people around our trailer, and they're trying to load all of our stuff onto the trailer. And Ryan was like, hey guys, could we get y'all to like step back, please? We're trying to load our equipment.
all polite and shit.
Yeah, super nice. He's really, really nice guy. And so this guy was standing there, and he was like, why don't you move me?
Okay.
Fucking Kanan Bryce.
I don't know. You weren't with us on that
No.
one, I don't think.
You told me about this.
But yeah, this was after the show. We're all off the bus, and I was still like in my crazy days. You know, I was turned up, and
Trying to grab
I
somebody.
didn't have shit to lose. And so somebody comes on the bus and is like, somebody's trying to fight Ryan. And so I get off the bus, and I walk back, and people are all in each other's faces. And I just walk up to the pile and throw a punch. Everybody just starts fighting. It was just like a ball of really drunk people trying to hit each other. And I think I landed the only punch out of everyone for like a whole minute of everyone trying to punch each other.
Big ass
And then it
6
got
foot
separated.
arm. Big ass 6 foot arm just comes in and just
Yeah.
lands one on somebody.
I hit one person really hard.
Then
I
it
think
looks
that
like
was-
an anthill. Just,
Yeah, it really did. After that, everyone was just like missing each other.
He knocked last night's lashes off of him.
All right, so coming from dropping one song out of nowhere when not a whole lot of people who knew who the fuck Pecos and the Rooftop was blowing the fuck up, and then following it up. You dropped the Red Eye EP, full
Yep.
of bangers. Killer Man,
Yes, sir.
dude. I've heard more people cover that like booking acoustic music than I heard.
Really?
I heard them cover this damn song. I send you a video every time.
That's sick.
I've sent you 4 or 5 people probably doing Killer Man.
Yeah.
That's my favorite that you dropped. I know this damn song is the one that blew up, but going from out of nowhere dropping a fucking banger and then just continuing to drop bangers, like how much work did that? Because he was talking about how hard you were always working about shit. So you just constantly writing songs, right?
Sort of. Like,
Sort of.
I don't believe you should force yourself to write.
Right.
You know, like,
What you were saying earlier about one you wrote on some railroad tracks. So it's
Mhm.
like the right setting.
yeah. And I like to kind of like predetermine a certain amount of time that I'm going to go write. That way I know when I go there, like I'm in the mindset and I'm like, all right, I'm getting in that creative space. Like I know what I'm going to be doing the next couple days. Like I don't wake up and I'm like, I'm going to make myself write a song right now or, you know, shit like that. Like if I don't feel like writing, I'm not going to, cause it's not going to come out genuine. You know, like if you force the words to the paper, it's not going to work.
Yeah, it's
So-
almost like the inspiration.
Yeah, I like
Yeah.
to. And Kanan was with me in El Paso. I mean, it's hard not to feel creative out there at Sonic Ranch. Like, that place is fucking awesome.
Yeah.
And
Can't just sit in the same place and write songs.
Yeah.
You got to be in the right setting with the
Yeah.
right people.
yeah, and sometimes I can sit in my house and write if I want to write. And even like 2 months ago, month and a half ago, like I went to my grandma's house in Yanis and sat in her spare room that she has that used to be a garage, and me and Eddie from Eddie and the Getaway wrote a couple songs, and then somehow we ran into Dylan Wheeler and Ben Burgess. They were also in Yanis of all places writing.
Hell yeah.
So we all met up and wrote a couple songs that day too. But it's just like getting myself in the mindset to write. You know, that's when I feel the most creative and the most able to come up with shit.
Yeah, because, I mean, you've written some really fucking sad songs, but you've also written some really nice songs. Like on the new self-titled album that y'all put out.
Yeah.
The Angel in the Dark one, that's like the sweetest love song I've ever heard in my life. You go from this damn song to Angel in the Dark.
Yeah. Yeah.
Look
I
what
mean,
changed you.
I wrote that with Michael Whitworth, who I wrote like most of our album with, and Brian Howes, who was a writer on Lips of an Angel.
Oh, no shit.
Yeah, and so we were writing for a few days at RCA in Nashville, just writing for the album, and we wrote Happy, and at the end of the day, we're like, we're gonna write a Lips of an Angel tomorrow, and just kind of just joking around, and the next day we, sure enough, got on the piano and wrote one, and we wrote Angel in the Dark, and it wasn't really intended to have Angel in the title, but it just worked out that way.
Yeah.
That morning I had the idea, she's my angel in the dark. When you have all this negative shit in your life, or like you feel a certain type of way about yourself, but you still have somebody that kind of brings you a little higher and helps you get through some shit,
Helps you calm down from the whole
Yeah.
party lifestyle, shit like that.
Yeah.
Chaos.
I remember I texted Jade after that song came out, after the album came out. I was like, he wrote that motherfucker about you, right?
Yeah.
About right. Just 'cause
Yeah.
you've calmed down a whole lot from them days. So.
Oh yeah, dude. For sure.
But yeah, it's crazy.
So before we get any further, I just want to send a little shout out to our friends at Bearded Monkey for sponsoring the whiskey tonight. We appreciate them.
Absolutely. Michael Weatherall.
Definitely.
Appreciate it, brother.
So,
Oh yeah.
have you always felt like you're a creative, like since you were little? Like,
I've always had a love for music since I was little, for sure. And I was probably a little different as a kid in certain types of ways, I didn't really grow up in a super musical family. Other than like, I guess my mom's side of the family kind of was. My mom and both of my aunts and my grandmother can play a piano really well. So I guess like my earliest memories of, ever seeing live music or anything like that was in a Baptist church with like 20 people in there, and my mom and her sisters and my grandmother singing on a piano, and my granddad. I tried to write a song when I was like 8 years old, and it was very like He Stopped Loving Her Today vibes. It was like probably the exact same shit. I just thought I was writing a song. But I don't know. I guess I've felt creative growing up. Just didn't really realize like, hey, I should be a songwriter. I should write songs and play music, because that's not what people do where I'm from.
Yeah,
Did
growing up in Paris, there's not a whole lot.
But did it take the rodeo dreams?
No.
How was that transition? Was it the rodeo dreams kind of fading out, and then you?
No.
No, he still does rodeo shit. He was riding at the NFR when I was there.
He ain't just riding, brother. He's winning.
That motherfucker getting it, dog. I don't know how his big ass rides a normal size horse, but
They're strong, man.
motherfucker's got Clydesdales in there.
Yeah.
No, it didn't take away from that. I've always loved, that was my first love, was growing up and roping. Like that's what we did after school. We get home from school and catch the horses and pin the steers and rope all afternoon with our dad. And that was the first thing I loved to do. And I still love doing it. I just don't have that kind of time anymore, and I'm not home enough to have horses and shit like that. And I don't want someone else to have to come to our house and take care of our shit for us. Yeah. So, I mean, eventually I'm going to get back in it full swing when the road life slows down, but I'm more focused right now on making sure I'm setting my family up for a future and building that shit up before I take the time to be selfish and go rope all the time and shit like that.
Yeah, I don't see that road life slowing down anytime soon right now.
No, not right now.
Y'all motherfuckers is getting it.
Yeah. Not right now. And I'm fine with that. This is what I signed up for. And I love music too.
Yeah, absolutely.
I've always loved music, and I love getting to play music for a living. Like I wouldn't trade my job for anything. But my main focus right now is building up money for the future, and so I will have time to slow down touring and get to rope more one of these days.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
That's some real like cowboy country shit. Like
yeah, but I don't play cowboy country shit. It's kind of confusing,
that's
I'm
the
sure.
thing, though, like in the country genre, there's a lot of people that pretend to be country.
Oh yeah, dude.
And there's like motherfuckers like you that actually are.
Yeah. And I play rock.
And don't look or act like it either.
Well, that was my favorite part, like in the Marine Corps.
Yeah.
Like we're brothers in the Marine Corps.
Yeah, yeah.
Well, you meet people that like, I grew up on a ranch. Or I grew up, in Wyoming. Like my whole summers consist of fucking herding cattle and shit.
Yeah.
And so leading into that, like what was your favorite experience about being a Marine and meeting people that are completely different from you? That maybe grew up in a big city or
yeah, that's the coolest thing about the military in general is just meeting people of all different types, like from anywhere in the country. I mean, it's just different, once you all go through the same shit together, it doesn't matter what your political beliefs are, what your ethnicity is, religion, anything like that. You're brothers, and you're friends. And yeah, I mean, the military was a cool thing for me. That was one of the coolest things for me because I grew up in Northeast Texas and hardly ever got out of Northeast Texas. So when you go to San Diego and you meet all these different people, it doesn't matter what kind of people they are because you're going through the same shit together and it all sucks equally for each other at one point. So I mean, that was a cool thing for me in the Marine Corps, just making friends from all over, really. And I still talk to a lot of them.
Anybody you want to shout out?
Seth Brooks, shout out.
That was the homie.
Yeah, he's from Yanis, so I had to shout him out. And I didn't meet him until we were in Florida, which is crazy. We're like 2 years apart. We went to high school together and somehow didn't know each other in high school. It was like
small ass Paris, Texas. Didn't even know.
Yanis, dude.
Oh yeah. You're right.
Even smaller. I mean, there's like 20 kids in each class in Yanis. And we didn't know each other. And we were in Pensacola at our water survival school. And we're standing in formation one day, and we're waiting on like the staff sergeant to come out and tell us what to do, whatever. And I hear him behind me talking to somebody else. They're like, Brooks, where are you from? He's like, Texas. And I'm like, oh, that's cool. Somebody's from Texas. I turned around. I was like, where are you from in Texas? And he was like, you probably don't know. And I was like, well, where? And he was like, you know Dallas. And I was like, yeah, I know Dallas. And he was like, you know where Sulphur Springs is? And I was like, yeah. And he was like, really? Do you know where Yanis is? And I was like, shut the fuck up. There's no way you're from Yanis. And he was like, yeah, dude, I went to Yanis. I'm like, I went to Yanis. And I mean, we became really good friends from then on. We were good friends. We were in the same unit after all the training and stuff. And he's been a good friend ever since.
Hell yeah.
Yeah. He's a good dude.
Well, we were talking about shows earlier, and outside of Kanan getting in fights and getting you served papers, what was what, if you had to say a memorable show or a run or, something like that, what would it be?
Like, what show did you play that was like,
man,
damn,
this past Saturday at Billy Bob's was, I think, my favorite show I've ever played. It sold out. We had like 5,014 people there. For headlining shows, that's my favorite one so far.
Just a week ago.
Yeah,
that's rad. There's a lot of
or no, just
plays too,
what 2 days ago.
Yeah, a couple days ago. I mean, it was really cool. And after the show, we're like getting ready to go out. And I don't go out a bunch after shows anymore now, like hardly ever. And I'm like all pumped up because we sold it out, and me and Jade are like, yeah, let's go out. Fuck it, let's go celebrate. And all of our managers were there and stuff, and they're like, yeah, we can go to this bar, and they'll kind of block it off for us so we can chill. And so I'm on the bus getting our shit to put in our car, and I'm like sitting there like in between the bunks, and Jeb, our manager, comes on the bus and was like, hey, you want to meet Billy Bob Thornton? And I was like, yeah? Are you being serious? He was like,
Bad Santa.
He was like, yeah, he's out here at the bar. And I was like, yeah, I want to meet him. That'd be cool. And so we go out there, and it was him and Michael Pena and another dude from Sons of Anarchy. And they're all doing a movie together right now. They're staying in Fort Worth.
Oh, hell yeah.
And we got to meet them and talk to them for a little bit. And that was really cool. I mean, for the most memorable, that's got to be it for me, for a while at least.
Cool ass night
It
altogether.
would have been a little bit cooler if Billy Bob Thornton would have done the whole sling blade, just talk to you.
Dude, I almost walked up to him and was like, what's up, Farley? But I didn't know if that'd be appropriate.
He would have been like, nope, turn around.
What's your favorite opening show?
Maybe Dickey's Arena with Co.
You walked out there and you're like, holy shit.
Yeah. It was like 10,000 people.
It's double up Billy Bob's.
Fucking wild. Yeah. Yeah. I said Billy Bob's because that's how many tickets we sold.
Yeah.
People came there for us, but the Co shows are always cool.
I mean, and Billy Bob's, it's fucking Billy Bob's, right?
Yeah.
Selling that out.
Yeah. I mean,
a milestone for
I've had a lot of times at Billy Bob's, and I never thought I would be there on the stage with it sold out,
Yeah.
That's a crazy life moment for me.
And the cool thing is the next time you go there, that's when you get your square on the wall, you get your hands out there.
Yeah.
So.
And I was already bullshitting that day about putting our name on the wall anyways, just writing our name on the wall.
You earned that, brother.
And then we sold it out and forgot to put our name on the wall. Yep. But I think we're going back in like December. So just do it then.
So while we're talking about it, obviously, like, we're definitely branching out. We've did our best to grow this platform, but you have a lot of local connections.
I do.
Don't you? I feel like you do. I mean,
I don't know.
We got the Lake Fork. Like, I've heard that mentioned, and then Greenville. I mean, what you've lived in Union Valley before? Where we're all at Sweetwater. Like,
yeah.
So
I don't know if I
weird.
have any connections though. I didn't really get out when I lived in the Union Valley.
I
Honestly,
feel
you know that Corey O'Grady guy, but he's a douchebag.
yeah. I mean,
Well,
Corey's probably
He built
The
your
only
desk.
one.
Is that the only connection?
Dude, me, him, and his parents putting that desk together was the worst fucking thing about moving.
yeah,
I forgot that Cade was in your band. I mean,
Yeah,
I've known
yeah.
Cade for years.
yeah,
You do have some local
No, Cade's
connections.
a bigger part than just a drummer.
yeah. Cade would be a cool person to have on here too. Honestly,
Well,
I mean,
do
he's
it.
very knowledgeable.
With the Red Eye EP, Cade was a massive part of
Yeah,
that.
yeah. Cade did the producing on the Red Eye EP.
How do you explain what he does now? It's like there's
Cade
like
is just-
metal.
I don't
there's
know.
kind of metal in it.
Cade's just like a musical and
He's his own vibe, man.
Yeah.
That's what I love about him. I mean, he's a very creative guy.
any instrument, any genre, throw him
Mhm.
on there, he's gonna fucking kill it.
He's really talented.
Cade's just
Yeah.
Cade, man.
We should get Cade on here.
And on dude,
I'll text him.
Dude, on top of Cade being a phenomenal musician, he's also like a down to earth guy. And
Like one of the
Yeah.
nicest people you ever meet
yeah,
in your
like,
life.
Yeah.
just like all of us in here, dude. Cade's just
Yeah.
like us.
He'll get you on some conspiracy theories too.
Oh, he will.
Y'all will be talking.
Hey.
Oh, he will.
Hey, so what's your conspiracy theory you say?
Dude, I don't know. I don't know.
Just fire off a rant.
I used to be all up in them, but
Nowadays, you just want to drink beer and mow the lawn.
I just want the simple shit now, you know? I
He's
don't
just
know.
trying to figure out why Corey O'Grady's so weird.
That's not a conspiracy theory. That's a fact.
Yeah.
Trying to think, man.
All right, Josh.
That's a tough one. I didn't think about that today.
Today,
Yesterday.
What's y'all's?
I don't really have any
Dude, lizard people.
lizard people.
Okay.
Okay.
Oh, yeah, you were talking-
okay.
You were talking about dude in the
So-
producing studio
That's
that
a
was like, I'm
weird
from the
way to-
universe. You probably met a lizard person.
So have y'all heard about like how a lot of the presidents and like really famous like A-list celebrities have a certain blood type, like OH negative?
Mm-hmm.
Interesting.
Oh, here we go.
It's like the rarest blood type possible.
Yeah,
What is OH negative?
It's
I've never
just a
heard
really rare blood type.
they're all lizard people.
Yeah.
Reptilian, apparently.
I mean, that's the origin of the blood type, pretty much.
You're getting up there. You're getting up there in the fame thing. How many have you met?
I'm A positive.
Damn it. He's like, I don't get invited to those parties.
Yeah. We're not RH negative yet. I'll let you know, man. If I get a transfusion in the future.
If there's anybody that's H negative, it's definitely gonna be Kalen. Kalen's the oddball, man.
Kalen knows something.
I know he does, dude.
He's too quiet.
All right, so May of last year you released the self-titled album? Just to pick
June, I think.
June,
I
yeah.
think it was June. Yeah.
It dropped when I was at Possum Kingdom Lake.
Hell yeah.
I remember that because I was entirely too fucked up playing some drinking game that I don't even remember how to play, and it dropped, and I just took over the Bluetooth and we played it start to finish.
Nice. My guy.
But there is a song on there that was co-wrote with somebody in this room.
Yeah.
And you bring his ass on stage sometimes, and y'all sing that motherfucker together.
Oh yeah. If he's there, he's coming on stage and we're doing it together.
yeah.
For sure.
There's been a few times where it did not happen, but
Dude.
Was
it
Kanan
just
too
once.
fucked up? Was
It was
Kanan
just
too
once.
fucked up?
He just wasn't over there. Like,
I
we
was
started the song, and I always look over to see if he's like coming on stage, and I didn't even see him. I was like, "Fuck!" So I just did the song.
He probably had a bottle of Rumple in his hand somewhere.
dude, I was way in the back, messing with Matt. I was like, I don't think they sent me the set list yet. And then you started it, and I was like, God damn it, I gotta go. But dude,
Then you got to make your way through 30,000 people.
yeah, dude, and I'll say the coolest moment was Highway 30, man. When you brought me on, I'm forever appreciative of that. That was a cool moment.
Yeah, that was a cool show. That was fun.
So is this
Which
the
Highway
fir-
30 was the one in
is,
Idaho?
The Texas one.
Oh, the Texas one.
Yeah,
Okay.
the Texas one.
is this the first show he pushed back to make sure you were on?
Dude, I'll
Stop the show. Where's Kanan?
Well, the song starts with a drum roll, so it's not like I have a heads up or they ease into it. It's like you got to be there or you're not, you know. And Highway 30, dude, I think, dude, there was just like almost. I think you looked at me and was like, because usually he's like Kanan Price, and then I'd like run out on stage like an idiot with a microphone, and at this time he just kind of looked at me. And I was like, do I go? Do I not go? Do I go? I panicked and I just ran out. That was a fun.
Bullshit,
That was a good one though, man.
Homies from the start and still doing the damn thing.
Yeah,
Yeah, man.
that's my first friend in music. over there for sure.
I remember him calling me, and like I was like nobody special in the scene, but I was like trying to like make my way through it, and Pecos is just getting into it, and he was I think he was just starting to record stuff, and he was like calling me for answers, and I was like, dude, I hope I'm guiding him in the right direction. And I was like, dude, at the end of the day, it's your music. You do it your way. It's your call. You're Pecos. No one else is. Do what you think is best. And I think you've done everything great so far, man.
Yeah, no shit. Just banger after banger.
It's just a learning process too, you know.
Speaking of wild shit on stage, bringing Kanan on to sing songs and shit like that. About that time you smashed that guitar when you weren't supposed to.
Yeah. So this was back in 2000.
You told me earlier we could talk about it, so.
Yeah, it's fine. So this was like
Hey, at least he told you what we couldn't talk about.
Real trap shit.
So this was like 2021, I think.
Yeah, a couple years ago, yeah.
Yeah. So we forwarded an email asking, kind of like prefacing what we were planning on doing.
Just kind of letting them know in advance.
Yeah. We were like, we're going to play Yesteryear last, and Pecos is going to smash a guitar, and we're going to have these balloons in the shape of boobs and joints floating around the crowd. And they were like, absolutely fucking not. Y'all are not going to do that. And I was off my rocker at the time, so I was like, yes, I am. We didn't respond. And so we go to play the show. Jackson, our tour manager, was like, hey, like they said no to the balloons and stuff. And my hard-headed ass was like, I'm still smashing my guitar. I don't care what anybody says. I'm going to do it. I'd already bought a guitar to smash. And so we get up there and we're playing. We play through the show. Everybody's having a great time. The crowd's loving it, all this stuff. We start playing Yesteryear, and I'm playing this guitar that's not plugged in, and I'm just like, yep.
Just waiting. It's about to hit.
It's going down.
Get to do this. I never got to break a guitar on stage. I'm about to do it right here at LJT. It's going to be the time of my life.
The one time you were told not to do it.
Yeah. And so I told Jackson, all right, fine, we won't do the balloons. And they
did not mention the guitar.
They were aired up over on the side stage, and some of Co's guys run over there and start kicking them out in the crowd. And we're like playing Yesteryear.
Allegedly.
No, it happened.
Oh no,
it wasn't our fault.
There's multiple videos of this happening.
Allegedly, it was the Co guy.
So these like giant joint balloons and giant boob balloons are floating around the crowd. And we get done with the song, and I smash the guitar. And out of pure adrenaline, I like broke it in half and just flung it out in the crowd. And I meant to like soft toss it, but if you see the video, it's kind of like
I've seen it.
A fucking line drive. But the person that caught it commented on the video and was like, hey, you still got that guitar? Like they were fine. Nobody was mad really.
But one person was mad.
But one person was mad. And
he just happened to own the festival.
Yeah.
Yeah. And now looking back, I'm like, what a jackass. Like, you didn't have to be that hard headed and kind of be a punk about it, but also it was one of the coolest moments of my career.
Yeah, I fully support.
And I don't know. I'm just in a different place now, so it's hard to like gauge.
Yeah, but at least
that kind of shit.
At least you didn't light it on fire like somebody else did.
That's true.
I'll tell you this: I got to experience it side stage, and that was probably the coolest shit I've ever seen in my life.
Like a proud friend moment over there on the side of the stage.
Like, my dog, do it.
It was really fun, and I probably could have acted a little better about it afterward when I was talking to a certain person.
Yeah.
That's what I more so regret about it is how I handled it after the show. What happened off stage.
But you are no longer invited to that event.
Correct.
Hey, you gotta go
Yeah.
through it to grow through it.
Never say never, though.
Yeah, I would love to go back,
Absolutely.
but I know that amends me to be need to be made.
All right, so what's coming up next, Pecos?
Just writing more music, trying to get this album finished.
Maybe get a couple more songs platinum or double platinum.
That would be nice. I'm writing with Vince Gill at the end of this month.
Hell yeah.
I'm writing with a couple more dudes that have wrote huge songs. One of them, sorry, I just got these names today, so I'm going to pull my phone out. But one of them was a writer on Stay, that Rihanna song. Want you to stay, that song.
Hey.
Mickey Echo is his name.
Nice.
The other guy is Jeff Gittleman. He's wrote like a ton of pop hits too, but it's going to be interesting.
Oh yeah.
I think it was like Miles from our label is who put that right together, and I think they're just wanting to see what'll happen with us three in a room. So it'll be interesting.
Yeah, looking forward.
And I'm not trying to write pop music, obviously, but I feel like if you can write a good song, then we can write.
Yeah.
And
well, I mean, you
at the end of the day, if the words are there and the melody's there, you can make it whatever kind of song you want it to be.
Yeah, you showed us one of the newer ones that you're writing. It was half of it was sarcastic, but it was still a good song.
Yeah.
Oh, I loved it.
And some of it, y'all were just fucking around, just trying to make it naturally sounding, I guess.
Yeah, sarcastically.
Man, I'll tell you this. I don't know if y'all chose the songs to kind of go forward with, but if y'all get the chance and ask Pecos really nicely, he'll probably show you the songs that we did over at Sonic and Jordan Nixon, Parker Ryan, dude.
He was telling me about that earlier.
Dude, I don't know about you, but I feel like an idiot being there, being around Jordan Nixon, Parker, dude.
Dude, yeah, there's some motherfuckers for sure. They're so talented, man.
I was like, Pecos invited me here just to be useless because these guys are phenomenal.
I mean, I could sit and watch them swap a guitar all day.
Back and forth, dude. The whole time they were playing it, me and Pecos were like,
And Parker played that one Towns Van Zandt song that he just talked like damn near the whole song. There's like a couple parts in the song where he sings, and me and Kanan were both in like damn near crying by the time he got done. It was like
butter. It was like, when you leave butter on the counter and you just put that knife in it, it was money.
When the music just like hits you right and you're just in it.
And not to mention, we smacked like a bottle of whiskey and a bottle of tequila all together.
Slammed it like that guitar, huh?
I get that because when we had Jordan Nix out here, he was like, "Yeah, I got this Christmas song I'm gonna cut with y'all," and then he played "Merry Christmas from the Saddest Man on Earth," and it was like a 30 seconds of silence after he was done. We're just like, what the fuck?
I cried for 3 weeks.
But hey, so out of that whole group, we've had 3 out of the 4 out here. So how about y'all put the bug in old Parker's ear?
Yeah.
And y'all can come be guest hosts on that one.
I'll tell you this, man. We got in there into El Paso, and we sat down, and it's like we didn't know what to do, man. We were just soaking in like the studio itself, and I was like, "What you got coming up? What you got?" And dude, we just like passed around and played songs that we had already been working on, and dude, it was just like I felt like we all just had like great songs coming up, and and it kind of translated into the ones we wrote later on, which is phenomenal.
Oh yeah.
So, any advice you'd give to that kid working at Chili's right now that's maybe written a banger, but hadn't quite made it yet, and he's just trying to chase his dreams as a musician?
Drop that song.
Yeah, just believe in yourself. Like if other people don't, and you think you got something worth believing in, then fucking follow through with it and work your ass off. And if you don't think it's good enough, then get better. Do what you got to do to get better. Figure out who you need to meet, who you need to have in your circle that's going to push you to get better. And just stay on the grind. Don't let somebody tell you can't do it, because it's doable. It could happen to anybody.
Hell yeah.
Absolutely.
That's pretty much it.
Oh yeah.
That was more valuable than the 2 for $20.
All right, Pecos. This has been a really fun interview, man. I'm glad we finally got you out here.
Oh yeah. Yeah, thanks for having me.
So we're gonna get off of here now. Cheers, everybody.
Cheers.
We're gonna play some music.
Thank y'all for tuning in to another episode of Truth, Tall Tales, and Whiskey.
says you're weak. Well, she says it'll never be you.
It used to be so easy, but now I've lost my mind. I've been constantly drowning. We all know that I'm sinking faster with time. Yeah, yeah. My head says who cares? My heart says you do. My body says you're weak. And she says it'll never be you. It'll never be you.
My soul says hold on. My friends say you're not you.
And people know that I've changed. But she says it'll never be you. My head says who cares? My heart says you do. My body says you're awake.
Well, she says, well, she says, it'll never be you.
She says, it'll never be you. It'll never